What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. We had a pizza delivery issue, waiting for the pizza to get here. My boys from Last Straw Distillery were hungry. We had to eat before we had to go on. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. We had a pizza delivery issue. That's the camera in the background. 1 second. There we go. We're good. Okay, so as many of you may know, Last Straw and I were collaborating on a whiskey. The mash was chosen by their father and myself. It's been over a year now that just over a year now that the whiskey's been sitting in a barrel. So first of all, let me introduce these gentlemen. This is Fred. This is Brandon. Both from Last Straw Distillery. So you guys want to talk a little bit about how Last Straw started, what your involvement is in it, or let's go with that. What's your involvement in Last Straw Distillery?
Well, I mostly help out at festivals, loading, unloading. And assist Brandon. Brandon's a distiller. He does most of the important work. Takes the stuff from raw product and makes it something that's palatable that we all love. And
yeah, so from my experience so far at Last Straw, things that I enjoy, Brendan's like, no, that's no good. You have to try this one, and it's always better. He's always right. Like
he's a bit of a snob. That's Brandon. We love him for what he is, and we don't expect anything more.
Yeah, but I mean, he's doing a great job because you guys are pumping out some pretty crazy good products. So you guys haven't put out a whiskey yet, but there's whiskey waiting in the ranks, getting ready.
Several casks, yeah. Just because we haven't released it doesn't mean it's not one of the things we started with.
That's right.
With the laws in Canada differ from the American laws, in Canada has to be in a barrel for 3 years.
That's right.
So we get something we got on right away. It's just it takes a little bit of time to get to the finish line.
Yeah. So they do have product, and currently there's these two lovely products right here that are whiskey related.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whiskey adjacent, I guess.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, actually. So Mangy Squirrel, which is 50% ABV. And it's a corn-based unaged. Brandon can go a little bit more details on the recipe, but it's an unaged white spirit. So that's it right there, Mangy Squirrel. I don't know if we're up to date on the chat over here. I just want to, because some dude is like owning our. Let's get this guy out of here. Hide user on this channel. How about that? All right. Richie, you got to be on that, bro.
Just like that. Get out of there.
Actually, I should say hello to everybody in the chat. We got quite a bit of people in the chat so far.
Well, I told all my friends.
So. Santa Cruzin, what's going on? Moose 76. Lark, what's going on, buddy? Richie Z. The wrenches at work. Cheers. All right, so we got darker side. So you guys want to explain the? Sorry, we didn't finish with.
That's okay. No, it makes more sense if we start with darker side.
Okay, let's talk about darker side then.
Darker side is it's a corn. It's a basic recipe, really. It's corn with sugar. What we do is we put corn with sugar, throw the yeast in, let it do its thing. And what we do with darker side is we throw it in a barrel it's heavily charred barrel, so it gets a lot of color sooner. And then what we do with the Mangy Squirrel is this is actually the same liquor pretty much. We just distill. We get this out.
That's barrel aged.
Yeah, this is barrel aged. And what we do after we're done making our darker side, we get that corn, we cook it, mash it, ferment it, and we get this and put it out at 50%.
So it's actually a byproduct of the other process.
Yeah, it's at the end of darker side.
Oh, okay. So this is at the end of darker side.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The only coloring difference is the fact that this is aged in a barrel, so that'll give it its color.
Yeah.
All spirits, when they come out of the still, all spirits are clear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they get all their coloring from the aftermath, the barrels and different woods, different chars.
Yep. We're gonna pour these out. I guess the only reason I know the owner, well, these guys are also owners, but their dad, Don, told me the name darker side came from, obviously this is a moonshine, so that's why there's sugar added to it. It's not legally considered a whiskey, but obviously it's whiskey based. There's sugar in it, which makes it a moonshine. It's younger than, I guess.
Yeah, that's only aged for 4 months in a dark number 4 char barrel. No one ever guesses that when they taste it based on the flavor profile. It's always a shock because it's delicious.
Yeah, no, it's as you can tell, I've gone through quite a bit of this. This is my own bottle.
We bought that an hour ago.
I don't think we would still be standing if that was true. But the best part about all your products is that they're all pretty much 45% or higher for the most part.
Yes.
There's some, I don't know if maybe the gins are a little
No,
lower.
we test everything. We test it all the way through, and we find that at that percentage, it has the most robust flavor. A little bit, any lower, it starts to get watered down. Any higher, and it's too much burn coming through. It's like spicy peppers. You got to find that sweet spot where you get the amount of sweetness and the spice.
Yeah, for sure. And these are, I love it. I love the fact that this is 50% ABV. This is incredible stuff for just a white spirit, unaged.
Oh, it's delicious. It's very sweet. It's very nice on the tongue.
And okay, so we're gonna taste them.
That's why I'm here. So.
And anyway, so as I was saying about this is darker side because darker side of the moon.
That's actually the second abbreviation. Our first product was called Dark Side of the Moonshine. It was a different barrel, similar recipe but different barrel, aged longer but less color. And this was the second adaptation of it. So playing off the first one, we called it Darker Side of the Moonshine because with the change in barrels, a lot more color came through, as you can see. And to be honest, it ended up just being more of a favorite, and this is what we pump more out of now. It's better received than the original.
Yeah, and I think I tried Darker Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moonshine.
Dark Side of the Moon.
This is darker.
Mm-hmm.
But I've tried almost probably every batch. Well, maybe not every batch, but most batches, and they've all been excellent.
One of our things we try to do is be consistent from batch to batch. So that if someone finds something that they like in our lineup, they're not going to buy it the next time and have it taste different. The recipes are stringent and the procedures are pretty regulated. So efficiency is something that we've worked hard to maintain.
Well, that's probably also because the LCBO is a pain in the ass when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah, but even so, there's variances you can get. That's why we have to keep a strict eye on it.
So I'm not going to be too generous with the pours tonight just because these guys have tried this stuff a million times and we have quite a bit to go through.
For sure.
So this is the mangy squirrel. Again, that's 50%. It's 100% corn based. Is there sugar added to this one?
No, that's cooked. That's the corn being cooked, releases all the sugars, and we throw the yeast in, ferment it. It's like a typical mash. Actually, if we age that would be a whiskey.
Yeah, so that would just be your standard corn whiskey.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
And I like drinking this in this glass because you get, believe it or not, like it's got like a really sweet nose.
That's the sweet nose, and from front to back, you get a lot of the sweetness coming through. At 50% and being white, most people would expect more of a burn or an ethanol.
Yeah.
But through our heart's cuts and the time, none of that comes through. It just melts in your tongue. It's beautiful.
So maybe Brendan could talk to us a little bit about cuts because he's very particular when it comes.
It's all about the cuts.
Yeah. So I remember being in the distillery with you guys, hearing you and your dad chat back and forth, and like even myself, I'm a little bit older than you, so maybe that the palate's not as refined as it used to be. Mm-hmm. You have the young palate, so you can tell like when you're in the heads, when you're in the hearts, and when you're in the tails right away, right?
Yeah. The hearts is what you want. That's the main thing. So we go as tight as possible with the hearts because, well, really, you could just read the still, the heads and the tails, throw it back in and get more hearts. So we just try to go as tight as possible, get all the good stuff, and then do it again the next time. Yeah,
and what's impressive is that I've watched Brandon actually like say, okay, no, we're getting too close to the tails here, or this has got too much tails in it or whatever.
Well, I've seen Brandon walk in and smell that we were going into the tails and yell from across the distillery to shut it down. So you may have seen him taste test. I've seen him smell test it.
That's crazy. That blows my mind because
it's crazy.
That's a skill that most people don't have.
Yeah.
Like 99% of people will not have that skill.
Well, you don't get to be the youngest distiller in Canada. You're not exceptional.
That's true. Actually, you were.
As much as we love him, man, crap, we're gonna keep him.
Yeah. Brandon was actually in a magazine recently.
Yeah, Playground.
For for being part of it was the fact that he was the
they showcased him as for his gin #1 because it was around the same time period that I think we just won the gold.
Award-winning gin. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about that then. What happened with this gin? What award are we talking about here?
It was the Canadian Artisanal Spirits Association. It was out west in Alberta, I believe. And it was our first gin. Brandon made, I think, 22 or 23 different recipes. Mm-hmm. And we had 3 days of tastings, and everyone voted on which one they thought was the best. And it coincided as well with what Brandon thought.
Yeah.
Right? But it was the people's choice, and that's the one we went with. And then we submitted it to the contest, and it won gold. So we were very happy with it, and it's been very well received. I've never seen too many people taste it and not like it. It would surprise me. Most people that even if they don't drink gin, enjoy this gin. That's
actually the one spirit from your distillery that's eluded me so far, because I have back here the rum. This is Cask 2, Blackstrap Rum, and then Blackstrap, which is
unaged.
Unaged, 46%, which is awesome for a rum, guys. If you really got to check that one out. And then this is the 1 year aged.
That's because in Canada, to be considered a rum, it has to be aged for 1 year.
Yeah, and that one is awesome as well. As you can tell, I've dipped quite a bit into this one. I like me some rum
from today.
Yeah,
they're all from an hour.
These are all from a couple hours ago. The fact that I'm still sitting upright is impressive. But you guys have a ton, and we'll share the website and all that stuff later on. But is this for sale at the distillery?
That is, at our distillery, at our storefront. You can come in and get it. We're doing another batch because I think we're running low.
Yeah, really.
So if you're interested, come by this week because it probably won't be there much longer.
Honestly, guys,
until a few weeks from that, until we get it going again.
And so we're drinking this straight, and you don't need ice, and you don't need water.
Oh no! One of the
excellent.
Things, especially at shows, what I try to do is I try to serve it to everyone warm, just so that they can see the difference. A lot of times when people are trying to give you substandard product, it's ice cold, so it just shoots down your throat.
Yep.
And then you can't taste anything. It just it numbs it.
Yep.
So we give it to people warm so that they can actually enjoy the different flavors and the different textures. Believe it or not, with heat and going past.
Yeah, because it's got it's got a super syrupy texture, viscosity, which is awesome. And at the end of the day, if they want to, they can actually put that in a cocktail too.
For sure.
Right?
Oh yeah, mixes well. Put that with anything.
Plays with everyone.
We got the first super chat of the night from the Mash and Drum, who's also a YouTuber. Very great YouTube channel. He says, "Great info on this live. Hope I get to try Last Straw at some point." I will ensure that I send you some, Jason. So I will send you some Last Straw. We'll get you, and then hopefully Jason will do some on his show.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be awesome.
Is he a local as well?
He's actually in the U.S., so appealing to a U.S. market.
Very nice.
Right.
Hit us up, Jason. We'll get you something too. Maybe on a phone call.
I'll share everybody's information. So sorry guys, we're not really keeping up to the chat so much tonight, just because we got quite a bit to talk about, and
I can't even see it.
And we had to push it further back. So you probably are having. Let us know if there's any sound trouble or anything like that. But it seems like everything's going okay so far. I haven't really seen anybody panicking on the chat or anything like that. My moderators seem like they're having a good time, which is always a good sign. So yeah, this is awesome. I really like it.
I love it. It's everyone who tries it leaves with it.
Yeah,
that's why it's selling so fast.
And it's what's surprising is that it's easy drinking, unaged. So what's the cost of something like this?
That goes for $38.
$38. All right.
Yeah.
So like,
But yeah, no, it's smooth for 50%.
yeah,
It's not like nothing.
yeah. Your comparables are a vodka, which you guys also produce.
We do. We produce
Yeah.
what I think is the best vodka.
Oh, we don't have it in here.
We don't have it
Yeah, no.
here.
Well, we had one, but went
I'm
pretty
drinking.
quick at the last
So there-
function.
So as you guys know, I teach kickboxing as well. These guys both actually take my kickboxing classes. Both doing very well, I might add. We had a party in December.
Yeah, the Christmas party.
Christmas party in December. A few Last Straw products were brought to the Christmas party, and a few didn't make it
Yeah.
out of the night.
Yeah.
No survivors.
Make the new year.
It was a massacre.
So it was a good night, and compliments for the most part of Last Straw actually. So
Perfect.
it's good times. Should we move on to the darker side?
Sounds good.
So a couple guys are asking if we're watching the game. They also know that I'm a big Leafs fan. As
They're getting spanked.
they're getting spanked in the background. We have it on, don't worry. Often when you see me in the kitchen here, or this is like the back of my kitchen, it's because the TV's on in the background. So, all right, we are moving on. We're gonna keep these aside. We will use different glasses. All right, I'll take that one. There you go. All right, so talk me through darker side, cask 3. What's the difference between previous casks?
Different barrels.
Okay.
Well, as far as it's same barrel, it's just cask 1, cask 2. It references when they're actually made.
Okay.
Same recipe, same barrel, same char. It's just that's how we differentiate between the number of bottles. Some people want certain numbers with certain bottles, and and so on.
Oh,
It's good.
Let's get them to have one more look at that. So they can order this kind of stuff online as well.
Yeah, we can direct ship online.
Anywhere in Canada?
I think anywhere.
I think so.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay, so anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna share that link very shortly so that you guys can see that. But you can order these products online, which I highly recommend. They're very, very good.
I think darker side is in the LCBO now, Brandon?
Darker.
We're working on it.
Soon.
I think so. Yeah, soon.
There has been products at the
There's been products in and out. It's another matter.
Yeah, LCBO is a finicky beast. These guys know my feelings towards the LCBO, but it's a difficult beast to crack. So yeah, a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of
Time.
Yeah.
A lot of waiting.
And we spend half our time drinking, so it's rough. So you'll notice this one's also very sweet on the nose.
Yeah. So what qualifies something as a moonshine technically?
A moonshine is a catch-all when it can't be categorized. Because we put sugar in this, which it's more of a bourbon style. If it wasn't
it's
for the
bourbon
sugar,
because it's all corn.
but because of the sugar, it can't be classified as a whiskey.
All right.
So moonshine's a catch-all.
Yeah, if something's not a whiskey or a gin or a rum, it's a moonshine. If it doesn't fit into a category, it's a moonshine.
And the purpose of the sugar is to what? To get it to ferment faster, or
Gives the yeast something to convert to alcohol.
Yeah, the sugar.
Convert the sugar.
The direct. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Interesting.
So you get more of a smoky flavor profile of this from the char. I even like a caramel almost.
Yeah, and on the palate, like super smooth. It's got a nice viscosity to it. It's sweet, but not like overly sweet.
No, very mellow.
It drinks like a bourbon a little bit.
That's what I describe it, liken it to people when they ask. It's obviously no harsh notes. It's very well received. No burn at all. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Guys, keep in mind that, so how long have you guys been around for?
Just over 3 years.
We've been making for 3 years. We've been a company since 2013. We've been distilling since 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we've been at the place we're at now since 2016.
Okay, so you do have some whiskeys that are almost ready, right?
Yeah,
And
coming up.
What's the plan for, like, is there any like secrets we can share today or not
Oh
really?
no.
Everything's top secret.
Everything's top secret.
It's all yeah.
Well, we do have something we can share with them today.
We do. We brought a couple of teasers actually. That,
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Rob, it wouldn't be released.
Yeah.
So we brought it just to go through on his channel, and Rob could tell you one of them specifically. I'm sure he's pretty excited about.
Yeah. So, I think it was just over a year ago. This month, well, what's left of this month, we did a video at Last Straw Distillery with their parents, discussing this liquid right here, which is already super dark. Actually, I want you guys to see it in a heavier quantity because you can see how dark this really is. This is 1 year old, what's going to be a whiskey. It was chosen by their dad and myself. We kind of came up with the idea to mimic the way a bourbon is produced. So we wanted it to be at least 51% corn. We wanted some rye in there, some barley in there, and we wanted it to be a heavily charred cask. And we accomplished that. As you can tell, that's a pretty heavily charred cask because that's only 1 year. And it's already achieved such a great color without adding any color whatsoever.
No color additives. That's nothing. All of our products are as they come out.
Yeah.
No additives, no cheating.
Yeah. So do we know what the ABV of
I think
this
it's
one
like
is?
63%.
Yeah, this is cask strength.
Yeah.
Specifically
Maybe give it a little
for-
sip, we'll add some water, see how it tastes. See if it opens it up.
I love cask strength whiskey, so I'm looking forward to this.
It smells amazing.
And this is the first time I've had a chance to try it since like 1 month after it was barreled.
We've been teasing them the whole time though, because we keep doing little polls to make sure it's going right.
Yeah. And what's the size of the cask on that one? What's the
I think it's about 400 bottles.
400?
Yeah. At 63%. I think it's like 210 liters.
Okay.
Size of the barrel.
Yeah.
So if all goes well and there's not too much angel share, if we were to decide to do this cask strength, we're looking at probably about 300 bottles, maybe a little bit more.
At cask strength, yeah.
Yeah.
If we go like the usual, like 40%, like Fred said, it'd be like 400 bottles.
Like 46, you mean, or whatever?
Yeah, around. Yeah. We gotta see with the angel share though.
Yeah. So the plan for this, like Don was saying, was we would taste it at cask, taste it at 50, taste it at 46, see what's best.
Yeah, that's how we do all our any new product when we're trying to figure out the percentage. That's how we do it. We lay it out in different sections of percentage, and we just see which one we like the best.
Yeah, but you gotta you gotta watch. Like it might change. Like this at a year, it's good. Like it'll change so much.
Oh, for sure.
It'll change several times.
Like if it's better at 60 now, it might be better at like 40 later.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah,
You know
then it could get over old.
Tracks.
So
But you'll notice even at 60, it's
like our darker
I haven't
side.
tasted it yet. I'm excited.
it's no harsh notes, no ethanol coming off of it.
Beautiful nose. I love the nose of this.
Nice and buttery.
Yeah,
like toffee.
That same smokiness.
Yeah, a bit of smoke.
Sweetness right away. Mouth coating for sure.
Yeah, front to back.
So I always have this argument with people about aging whiskey and about the age of whiskey. And I've always said that it always comes down to the cask, and a lot of people agree with that. But most people think that the older the whiskey, the better the whiskey is going to be. And that's not always.
Well, it's a bit of a misnomer, because what a lot of the places don't tell you is how a whiskey gets to be at 21 years old is because it wasn't good at 3 years.
Exactly.
So that's what they don't talk about, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's just economics. If something's good at 3 years, you're going to sell it. If something's not good, you're going to let it go forever to mellow out.
Yeah.
And then you can charge more for it. So
Absolutely.
A whiskey's ready when it's ready. It might be 3 years, might be 8 years, might be 12. It has that perfect date as it goes through, and you just got to try and catch it.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why it's important to take pulls from it annually at least.
Weekly.
Weekly or weekly. Their angel share is probably a little higher than most distilleries.
Highest in the business. But you gotta be the best at something.
So, honestly, it's delicious.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. I know for sure that there's a bunch of guys in the chat that love bourbon, but also really love Canadian whiskey that are going to be so excited to taste this because it follows all the rules that we want Canada to follow. It's like there's so many stipulations, regulations, all these things that Canadian whiskey can do to like dupe the system, add 9.9%, whatever, all these different things. None of that's happening at this distillery, which is awesome, and definitely not in like these whiskeys that we're trying tonight.
Definitely not. All the products that we have available now, and even aging now in our stock, we're all made there. You see, if you come visit us, you'll see where it's all made, and you can get the story behind every barrel.
So there's a question for you guys in the chat.
Questions at the end. No,
have you ever been to Whiskeys of the World in San Jose or San Francisco?
I have never been to San Jose or San Francisco. Sounds like something we should go to, I guess.
Yeah.
If you recommend it. Is it a bar?
I'm wondering if that's like an event for whiskey, like
an event, yeah.
To bring your whiskeys and like, because the San Francisco, like, there's a huge competition that goes on every year. In San Francisco, they award all sorts of spirits.
Oh yeah. We actually submitted the darker side and the gin.
Okay.
Is that the one this week?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe yes.
They'll be in the next one. Yeah.
I'm not in the loop. Sorry.
So
I don't know if we're gonna go.
So maybe you guys will be taking a flight down to San Francisco.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be on the podium.
We win.
I think Whiskey in the Six might join them actually.
Oh.
Somebody's gonna do that.
This one I could drink
all day.
All day.
It's amazing.
That's not gonna make it to 3 years out of there.
Hey, you need a whiskey. You need your own signature.
That's right. No, for sure.
Pre-orders are available.
Yeah, you know what? We will do that closer to the day. We will start getting people to pay like directly to the distillery, and then this way they can secure their bottle because I'm gonna secure at least
it's gonna be sold out for
at least 10 of these in my Yeah. This one will sell quick.
That's something we're seeing actually pick up a lot more as we're getting to the closer to the dates. We're getting a lot of pre-orders coming through.
Yep.
So that's why we're telling people if you see something you might be interested, put a call in, get it ordered, because the last thing I'd want to do is tell someone that we don't have something they want.
It's sold out.
Especially if they've been waiting the whole time but just didn't make that call, right?
Yeah, and honestly, guys, like these two are available right now, and you will not be disappointed with either of those things. It's not a whiskey. Like you're not comparing it to a 12-year-old or a 50-year-old whiskey. You know what I mean? You got to take it for context. It's delicious. It's gonna serve a great purpose on your bar. You can drink it neat, or you can add it in a cocktail. I mean, that's the best part about the fact that you guys go at such a high ABV is that it's so versatile. Like you can.
Yeah, they all mix well. Everything we make, people have told us that I usually drink things straight.
Yeah.
If people say it all mixes well.
Yeah, and well, the key for that is you have a good core substance, right? Like if you don't have a good core substance, you can't really like.
It's all about the cuts.
Yeah, there you go.
The cuts and the freshness, right? It's a lot of it's all milled in Ontario. All the grain we get.
We start with something good. Everything you do to it.
We got to get this guy a shirt that says the hearts of Last Straw Distillery.
Heartbreaker.
Should we move on to the single malt?
Sounds good.
Let's go see how it's going.
All right. So we will go back to these after we've kind of. And so you guys know, there's also stuff available at Last Straw Distillery, like these beautiful coasters. They're rubber coasters. They stick very, very good.
They're phenomenal.
And
merch is great. It helps us out.
T-shirts as well.
Let us know, order it.
You guys can. So we'll share. Let's share the link to the website
on YouTube. It's in this corner. Gotta put it up there.
Yeah. So for the live on the live, unfortunately, but I'll go back and I'll put a card.
It's up here.
Yeah, it's up there. What time is it? All right, we'll try to find that. No pressure.
I can't make you look stupid now.
Yeah,
You gotta put it up
No,
there.
it'll be there.
It's
It'll
all
be there.
about production value.
Absolutely. All right, so explain what we are drinking right now. What is this one?
So this is Brandon will go into
This-
the actualness, but this is
I've
a
been-
true single malt style whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. This is
I
our
got practiced
third
it.
single malt we made.
I was doing it on the way here.
Pretty happy with it. I think this is at like 60%.
60% single malt. What's the process? Like, how is it different doing a single malt than it is doing like a corn-based whiskey or a rye-based whiskey? Like, what are the major differences here?
Major differences.
Like in cutting, is there a difference or?
The recipe.
Well, like I've said, with the cuts, you go as tight with the hearts as possible. But with the single malt,
Like, is it as easy to detect the hearts on a single malt as it is with?
oh, actually, it's a lot more like sensitive. Like if you were to go like a little bit more heads or a little bit more tails as opposed to the hearts, you'll like taste it immediately.
You're getting a lot more
It's
bitter
sing-
notes, a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Single malts usually
And how
take longer to pretty much taste good. Like single malts, if you like, you'll notice in like Scotch or Irish whiskeys, they'll age for a lot longer.
And the difference between a single malt and a bourbon and recipe wise type of thing.
Well,
So,
single
just-
malt is barley only.
Yeah, it's 100% barley with
Yeah.
malted barley.
Mhm.
So there are a few other YouTubers in the chat tonight. So a good night for them to be watching because we do have a distillery on hand, and you guys can have a chat with these guys one day, and hopefully they'll.
Yeah, for sure. Hit us up. We're
but-
doing the tour now.
Yeah.
Yes, we're podcasters.
Yeah, there we go.
We're
Yeah,
coming up.
so we had the Mash and Drum. We also have Mark Broda, who's part of the Scotch 4 Dummies. And we have Scott, who's part of the Scotch Test Dummies. So a bunch of YouTubers in. These guys are awesome. You guys will love their products. I know you will because over the years, we've all gotten to know each other's palates. We all review and we all watch each other's reviews. So those guys are really cool guys. And you guys I'm going to make sure that you guys get connected with all these guys. But so this is how old again?
I think this was
that's
2.1 years.
Yeah,
2.1?
yeah.
2.1 in the
So
barrel.
it's nearly ready.
Nearly ready, yeah. By the end of the year, it should
Mhm.
be come to maturity.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So you right away you notice that it's not as sweet on the nose,
Mhm.
being a single malt.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Generally, they take longer. If
It's-
you want to throw some water in and open it up,
Oh man, no,
you do
I
that
like that.
like the way it is, eh?
Honestly,
Very earthy.
Some things are better at cask strength.
I prefer everything cast strength, to be
Mm.
honest with you. Like, not that I don't like adding water after the fact, but I want to be served almost everything cast strength if I
Mm.
can. Just because then I have the ability to add if I need to, or you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. It's easy to go
It's
down.
an honest
harder to go
example
up.
for what it is.
Exactly.
Right? It is what it is.
Yeah. So on the nose, I'm getting like a little bit of like a honey,
Mhm.
which is different than like what you're gonna get in a corn. You're getting more like a caramel in a corn, where you get a little bit more like a honey,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
maybe like even like an oatmeal type
Yes.
smell, like a
Yeah,
breakfast
I get
oatmeal.
Definitely, yeah. You get that coming through from the grains.
Yeah, and it would be almost as if they added like some fruit in that oatmeal because there's like a little bit of a fruity element to it as well. And then on the palate, I do get a lot of sweetness. I do like almost as much as like
On the not
That's
as
a
much
good
on the
sign.
nose, but on the palate, yeah. On the
Mhm.
back end.
Because generally, we found earlier on in the life cycle of the barrel, corn will be smoother.
Yeah.
Barley usually takes longer to smoothen out and taste better.
Yeah.
Even the tears, it really hangs on the glass.
Yeah,
Quite
it's
nice.
super, and even on the palate, like you can just tell it's got a high viscosity, like a really nice syrupy note. Again, like I'm getting a bunch of like honey, that malty note, which I love.
Mhm.
It always like a good cast strength single malt will always remind me of like an oatmeal, like a breakfast oatmeal, which I love. That that's one of my
I
favorite.
find it takes you back to the field. So like you get the freshness coming through
Yep.
the grains.
Yeah.
The summer, the honey.
Mhm. Really nice. I like that a lot. And there's a little bit of like a floral note on the nose as well.
Mhm.
Really nice.
This is one of our first and best whiskeys coming up to bat now. Now you'll start to see a steady succession. Now they're all coming up.
Yeah.
Within 3-4 months of each other.
Yeah.
We should be having steady releases now that we've hit that. Finally broke through that glass ceiling of the 3 years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I mean, you're having a whole bunch that are going to be coming.
Yeah, we have about
Yeah.
we have about 50 barrels down of different products.
You guys have some rye that I've tasted that blew the doors off of what I like originally preconceived as rye. Like it's just a beautiful rye you guys have coming up. There's a few of them, I think.
Oh yeah.
So, guys, stay tuned for these guys because they're gonna surprise you in a lot of ways. And the only reason they're gonna surprise anybody is because you haven't heard of them yet. Once you've heard of them, they will no longer surprise you because you will only expect great things. Everything I've tried from them has been excellent. At the distillery, I've had barrel pulls of 100% rye, 100% corns, single malts, everything excellent. Everything really, really good.
What we try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we're gonna stick around for a couple more minutes, but let these guys know where they can find you guys, like as far as internet, Instagram, all that sort of stuff.
I don't know.
The website is laststrawdistillery.com. You can find us there.
And we have Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, if you just type in Last Straw Distillery,
It's probably
we'll come up.
Hashtag Last Straw. We'll come up.
Yeah, we'll come. You just Google that. We'll come up. You can
We're
order from there. You can see what we're doing, what we're up to, all the next things coming out.
Yeah, and so what's available on the website right now as far as purchasing? Like, is merchandise available on the website?
Merchandise? No, actually, just only the alcohol.
Okay.
The main thing. You get the vodka,
So the important
gin,
stuff
rum.
is there.
Yeah, what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
The t-shirts are pretty much for you.
Yeah.
Exclusive. It's for the people.
Nice.
they are available at our shop.
At the shop,
all
yeah.
Merch is there.
Yeah.
So
But stuff like coasters, people, if you want to call us, we'll send it to you.
And if you are local, where can they find you guys?
We're at just south of Langstaff on Jane Street. We're on Pippin Road, number 40 Pippin Road, Unit 9. We're there every day from 11 till 6. Usually earlier, but those are our hours. But if you pop in earlier, we're there. Just knock.
Yeah.
And you can get everything that we sell there and tastings, and you can see how it's done.
Would they be able to like organize a group tasting?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you call in, just let us know. Look up our number. I don't have it memorized, unfortunately, but call in. You can schedule any day of the week, except for Sundays. We can accommodate you.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to this corn, this bourbon style Canadian.
So do I. Let's pull out another sample. I forgot what it tastes
Surprised
like.
you guys didn't finish it.
They don't know this yet, but they're leaving this little bit here. If it makes it through the night.
We'll see. Yeah.
That was this one.
See how far she goes.
You want?
Oh yeah.
Where is it? So
So nice.
the head honcho is not here tonight.
No, he doesn't do TV appearances
Busy.
anymore.
The Don, literally the Don. Yeah. So he did do one TV.
One for you.
It was an accident.
It was very rare.
He did well. He
Rare appearance.
him and your mom actually. Yeah. So cool story behind. So we were just talking about it actually today. When we first collaborated, when we first started, it was about a year ago, and I think I literally just hit 2,000 subs. The only reason I remember that is because in November, when my daughter was born, I hit 2,000 subs the night she was born. Fast forward to just over a year, a year and a half, a year and 3 months, whatever it is, and I'm at like 5,700 subscribers.
Nice, quite the growth.
Blowing up.
It's been a good year. But where I was going with that is a lot of these guys probably don't know the whole story behind Last Straw and how it got started, right? So long story short, unless you want to tell it.
The story of Last Straw?
Yeah. So how did it happen? Like, I know your mom had a lot to do with what the name is today.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's actually what happened. The story they tell people. Is that,
What I heard.
yeah, is that
The folklore
on the
father,
street.
my father wanted to start a distillery, and my mother told him it's the last straw. That's his last chance to do it. So that's why I figured if he doesn't do it now, he's never going to do it. So whether or not there's a true story, I can't verify, but that's the urban legend that seems to be bouncing off the walls of the distillery.
And it's a pretty great story.
That's why I don't know if it's true, but it's a good story.
But it's great because, you know, straw, wheat, barley.
That was, yeah, the last, actually, funny story. A guy came into our distillery and his last name was Straw. And he was actually the last of his lineage.
Oh, wow.
So he bought t-shirts because he wanted it to say the last straw.
Oh, wow.
Because he was the last male in succession. And
That's
he's the
awesome.
only one that'll pass off the name. So he was sure to buy as much apparel as he could.
That's almost even like just as good a story if he were to start the distillery.
Yeah.
If he wants to buy it.
$2 million, it's yours.
For sure.
That was awesome, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Where any other information you want to give these guys, where they can find you, any of that sort of stuff? So you're on Instagram. You have a website, Last Straw
Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook.
It's all
as
Last
well.
Straw Distillery.
Last Straw
You
Distillery.
type that in, we'll come up.
That's it. I will link.
Add me on Facebook, Freddie Ka.
There you go. I will link all their information in the description below, so you guys will have an opportunity to see that just below. Exactly. There will be a couple other signs popping up around this time, but
Everywhere.
guys, thank you very much
Thanks
for coming.
having us.
It was awesome. I really had a good time. And if you haven't already, guys, check out their product because you will really, really enjoy it.
Cool. It's good.
Perfect.
Cheers, everybody.
Enjoy.
See ya.